Hello, Veigar V2 and welcome to another patch notes rundown. This patch is not going to be as big as the last one, I think at least. I've quickly browsed through it, but I haven't read too much, just seen the size of it. So without any waste of time, let's just go into it. So first change is Garen. E-base damage per spin is decreased from 8 to 4, lowered 4 every rank. Just removed 4 flats. This is unchanged. So yeah, will it kill Garen? Considering how his E got buffed for teamfights, this will for sure hurt him because it's per spin, right? So let's say you're getting 6 spins, that's 20 damage. I mean 24 damage. So yeah, it's quite a big nerf. Will it kill him? I don't think the same because the ratios are still the same. So I don't think he will die. But it's a rather big nerf still. And in my opinion, Garen still had the same issue as before. Easy to kite is he just did more damage once he got onto you. So yeah, I don't think Garen is very good. Like sure he works in some matchups, but in the end it's still Garen. So Kayn, Q damage increased for both forms and for Rast. Higher attack AD ratio. I believe Rast is the red Kayn, right? So getting a bit more AD ratio on that isn't gonna matter that much. Because like he doesn't build as much heavy AD as the other Kayn does. And even if they did this for the blue one, that doesn't matter that much either. Because he doesn't really use the Q that much. It's mostly, his damage is mostly W. So regardless whichever form is Rast, I'm not even going to bother checking it because it's irrelevant. This is not going to do much. Sure, he spams Q. It's good buff for red Kayn. For blue Kayn, this doesn't do much. Kog'Maw, I love Kog'Maw. So seeing Kog'Maw buffs, even if they're small, it's nice. So let's see what do they do. They give him more mana, just rounding up stats. Yeah, sure. This will not often actually have anything to do in-game, but sometimes they can help out. It's still a buff. The Q going up 10 damage for 80 carry Kog'Maw, this does not matter because in most cases you're not really looking to use your spells that much because one, it just lowers your damage input. Because you're not autoing. Like during the time you're casting your E, you could just throw in like 2 or 3 autos, and it costs a lot of fucking mana. For AP Kog'Maw, this is pretty good buffs, and I play AP Kog'Maw, so I'm happy. Now, when you end up buffing Lulu and Kog'Maw in the same patch, then that's a double buff. Okay, so let's see, because Lulu right now wasn't even that bad. Pretty okay pick into things like Pyke. So let's see, what do they do to Lulu before we judge the Kog'Maw? For her shield, they bring up damage, so nothing level 1, then 5, then 10, then 15, then 20. Yeah, so 5 plus every time. Yeah, I mean, having bigger shield is always nice. The damage doesn't matter that much, but yeah, it's not gonna make Lulu pick or ban. It's a nice buff, and Lulu players will like it, but we're not gonna see Lulu pick and ban because of this. Support right now needs to be able to move around the map and help the jungler make plays and pressure lanes. So that's why we don't see like enchanter supports. If we see enchanter supports, it's going to be in the form of things like Morgana and Karma that has a lot more lane pressure. But yeah, if you like Lulu, sure, go play her. Lulu Kog'Maw gets pretty big buff because they're both getting buffed. But the Kog'Maw buffs are irrelevant for AD. Maokai. Bug fix. I don't know any Maokai bugs, so I'm not going to comment on this. W, 60 all levels. That's pretty good because Maokai's fights can tend to last for a long time. So getting, you know, cheaper mana cost is really nice. the damage as well goes up. Buffing base damage on tanks is a big thing because once again, their fights last for a long time and they don't get to build scaling. So, like, they don't get to build AP and things like this. So having high base damage on tanks is big buff. And tanks aren't doing that great right now, so it's a good buff for Maokai. Will we see him pick ban? No, we will not. There's too many good picks into him. But it is, regardless, a good buff. Let's see what to do to his R. Root duration is 0.6 to 2.4. That's what it used to be. Now it's 0.8 to 2.6. Sure, it's good buff, but it's not going to do that much because the thing is there's so much fucking tenacity in the game right now and mobility. So everyone just dodges the R anyways. I legit feel like this could be 1 second and then 3 max. Then we're talking. But right now there's so much tenacity and mobility in the game, so it's really hard to make use of this. Overall, it's good Maokai buff. It's one of the better buffs out of all of these, because what this also means is that when you do nerf the mana cost like this, he can then start like going things like Sunfire Cape, you know? He does not even need like Abyssal Mask. He doesn't need to be in heavy AP comps anymore. Even though he would love to, you know, have an Abyssal Mask. You know, fucking Maokai loves having that. But going to things like Sunfire now doesn't hurt him as much because you don't use as much mana. Obviously W isn't something you spam on cooldown. Having lower mana cost on Q would be better. But regardless, it is a bigger buff than what these are at least. This one you can argue about, but yeah. Master Yi. Okay, don't know about this bug, but yeah, that's nice. We're not gonna see Yi because of it. Pyke, please nerf it. 10 extra health growth. Okay. So 170 less damage then, I guess. I mean 170 less HP at level 18, I guess, if I do the math correctly. So in the end, that's gonna matter. Like, no sarcasm, that is going to matter. Losing 170 HP at rank 18 is pretty big. Especially for Squishy Champ. Grey health, 30, 81, 25 to 50. Okay. Good, so that means he can't just walk up and tank a fucking combo and then heal it all up. That's nice. Is he still gonna be broken? Yeah. But it makes it so that he is a lot more punished, and that's really good. So you have to actually play kind of with a brain now on Pyke, and that's nice. So that's good. This might actually kill him in some instances as well, where Ignite would kill him maybe. This is probably the biggest nerf, and I will explain it. So right now, Shaco at like late game, his boxes as support will last like 90 seconds because of the AP. They last a 60 second flat, and then the scaling buffs the seconds. Now, it's going to last like late game around 70. And late game, 70 seconds of Shaco box is compared to 90 is a pretty big nerf. And what this means for jungle Shaco is that you can no longer place your first box at 30 seconds, which means it kills this path. So right now, you could put 3 boxes here. So 3 boxes. Well, 3, right? 3 boxes here. And then 1 here. So that these 3 kills everything but the big one, and the big one then goes into this one and dies. And then you would do the red buff with you and your bot lane, and then you go here, take this, and then you'd get level 3. And then you'd gank bot at around 215 to 220. So it's very easy to counter Shaco because you just invade his boxes and then he's fucked. So I don't see why they would nerf it. Shaco isn't even that strong. Now what this means is that instead of putting boxes at 0.30, which you would currently do, right, because they last 1 minute, you're now going to have to place first one at 0.50. Okay, otherwise they expire, which means that now you can probably only get 2 boxes level 1. You can probably place 2 and then you can place 1 while you're doing the buff. which means that this path gets killed. Doing wolves and the blue buff at the same time gets killed. Doing all kinds of like fancy clears gets killed by this. Which is really sad. Now, of course, I don't think they're trying to target jungle Shaco that much with this. They're mostly hurting support Shaco, but that wasn't even broken in my opinion, because one, it's not blind pickable at all. One of the best counters to Shaco support could actually buff this patch, which is Lulu. It sucks cock versus enchanters. It's only good versus Rakan and Kai'Sa, these kind of champions. So, I don't agree with this. They did not need to nerf Shaco. Like, I don't even see him played anymore. He was played like the first 2 days of the patch, and yeah, he was a bit strong. But in the end, it's Shaco. It's the same thing with Garen. Like, Garen was strong, but the issue is you then have a Garen on your team, and the enemy has a Camille and Fiora, and then he just gets outscaled, and yeah. Same thing with Shaco. Like, it's fucking Shaco. It's not a Kha'Zix. So a bit disappointing. Is he still playable in support? Yes, but this is a big nerf, so he will lose a lot of value. So, like, for example, if the enemy picks Rakan and Kai'Sa, you wouldn't tunnel vision onto picking Shaco anymore. You're probably just gonna return into going, like, boring, like Leona or Morgana. Because support Shaco, the only real thing he offers is a bit of poke, and then high skill stealing because of his R and Q, and then it's a W. So now nerfing that hurts it so much, so it's really sad to see. Because it's an exciting pick, it's a pick we don't see often. So it's I don't like it when Riot balance like this. Like, in my opinion, they should be nerfing champions that gets perma played. Like, that's really boring. Now that we see some fresh champs like Shaco and Garen, they get insta gutted. It's sad. So Sona, following up, quality of life change and passive bug fix. Yeah, I hate when they added this, by the way, like the resource bar on Sona, because it's Sona 1 tricks would still know their passive, but now the enemy sees it easier as well. So I haven't seen a Sona battle, so I don't know if the actual enemy, if they see the resource bar, but if they see that, I would consider that a nerf to Sona, if they can see the resource bar. Viktor, yes, please buff my champion more. Health, 2 more health, sure, okay. I have lived twice, actually, that I can remember as Viktor, with 1 or 2 HP. So yeah, like, the buffs like this, by the way, they are not a joke. This as well, like, this is all nice. Like, this buff here, with this, like, I can probably live 3 HP extra now in early game, that can matter. So that's nice. Damage up by 10 each rank? Yeah, 10 each rank, yeah. Q is spammable ability, so it's pretty fucking big. It's pretty big buff already here. You just go airy on this motherfucker and you perma Q them. Thing about Viktor Q is you can kind of cheat trades in a way where you can take bad trades, but then the shield kind of makes up for it, so you actually end up winning the trade. Warwick, Q damage ratio increased later. W bonus attack speed increased. Targets maximum health, yeah, that's better clear for him. This part, maximum health on enemy champions, doesn't matter that much because there isn't many tanks in the jungle right now. But it helps his clear speed at least. So that's cool, I guess. But there isn't many tanks, so this doesn't matter that much. This though, let's see, 50%, 20%. 20 level 1. Wait, so 50 before. Now it's 70, 80, 90. Yeah, so around here it's the same bit pretty much. So I mean, what this means now, I think you would just max Q still, no? Pretty sure you would just max Q. Because the thing is, like, this already, like level 1 here, 20% extra attack speed is really fucking good. It's like before, you would need to have this level 1 and then max it, and then get it level 3 to overcome this. So you can just max this now, no? A lot more damage and just 3 attack speed. It's a pretty good buff. But I don't know. Like, it's fucking Warwick. It's the same thing with the Garen and Shaco thing. Like, sure, you can buff Warwick all you want, but then in the end you have a Warwick on your team and the enemy has fucking Kha'Zix or Lee Sin and Xin Zhao Elise and these kind of champions. Bug fixes. Okay, cool. Skins, nobody cares. Oh, Capstan, that's pretty cool. So, summary, let's just go to the top real quick. Garen, it's still Garen. This is pretty big nerf though to his damage. He's still playable, I guess, but yeah. Kayn, big buff to red Kayn. Doesn't matter that much to blue. I'm actually gonna check real quick. Because I'm curious what fucking form is called what. I've never studied. Yeah, Seal or Red is Rust, that's what I said. And then just Shadow Assassin, yeah. Yeah, so big buff to red Kayn. But then again, Kayn is kind of like, red Kayn is kind of like a tank killer. And we don't see much Sejuani, Zac and these kind of things, so. Kog'Maw, good for AP, irrelevant for AD. Lulu, this buffs Kog'Maw more than Lulu, so. If that makes sense. So Lulu, Kog'Maw got buff. Each one individually don't matter that much. But together, you're playing two champs that just got buffed. But AD Kog'Maw doesn't really use these ones much. They just waste his mana pool and makes him use less Ws. This one you can use sometimes, but this one you mostly don't even level up, so. For AP though, this will help a lot because there are certain times where the minions lives with like 1 HP, so this one having more damage is good. It's also the spell that you max, so. This is one of the biggest buffs here, just not the type of meta for Maokai. Like, overall this patch seems really useless because all the champs that are getting buffed are champions that are not in the meta and they're not having a place in the meta. Kog'Maw is only really pickable if the enemy has Kai'Sa and champions that needs to dive into you and then you have good disengage on your team. Then Kog'Maw is good. But he would be good like that regardless of the buff. Kayn we will never see anymore because it's just Kayn. Like, he's a tank shredder and there's no tanks, so. Yi useless. Pyke nerf is pretty big. He's not gonna kill Pyke though. Shaco might be dead now. Because this is pretty fucking big, by the way. Like, this is pretty big. Because, like, this, 40 seconds, right? As AP Shaco, you have 45% CDR. So, when you're spamming boxes, you're gonna end up having, like, 2 or 3 less now. Up on the map. In late game. That's a big difference, by the way. Viktor, another good buff for Viktor. Slowly sneaking his way into the meta. Possibly down in bot lane too. And Warwick is still Warwick. So, that's the patch. If I'm gonna tell you to play one champion, one champion out of this patch, from the changes, it's gonna have to be Viktor. The Viktor one is the best. Kog'Maw is too situational, and it's too much of a composition built around him. Maokai you should not play right now. So, the one champion from this patch to look out for and learn is Viktor. And it's a solid champion to learn anyways, because he always makes his way back into the meta at some point. Whether it's top lane, bot lane, or mid lane, or fucking whatever. So, yeah, go enjoy Viktor, I guess. There is not much else to go for this patch. Bit disappointing patch, bit boring, but it is how it is. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day, or night, or whatever. Bye-bye.